I paid for that dinner. Not just the bill. I paid for everything. The flights for each family member. The hotel rooms. The private dining room they requested. Even the wine my father insisted had to be impressive and expensive. 3 months of planning. 3 months of saving. All so I could finally bring my family together and tell them the truth about my life. Tell them about my success. But before I could speak even a single word, before I could tell them my story, my father stood up, raised his glass high, and said something that made the entire room go quiet. "This," he said, placing his hand on my shoulder in front of everyone, "is our daughter. Our biggest disappointment. The family failure." People laughed. Soft at first. Then louder. Like it was a joke. Like I was a joke. And in that moment, sitting under warm restaurant lights with strangers watching me like I was part of the evening entertainment, like I was a prop in their carefully orchestrated show, I realized 2 things. First, this was not a mistake. Second, they had no idea who I had become. Or what was about to happen next. Because 5 minutes later, a stranger from table 11 stood up slowly. And everything changed immediately. The restaurant was beautiful. Soft gold lighting. White tablecloths so clean they felt almost unreal. A pianist played in the corner. Slow, gentle music that made everything feel calm and peaceful. Except me. I sat at the center of the long table, my hands folded in my lap, trying to breathe slowly and steadily. My mother sat across from me, smiling at the guests like nothing was wrong. My father stood at the head of the table, already halfway into his second glass of wine. My brother leaned back in his chair, scrolling through his phone like none of this mattered. Like his sister's life was not important. I had imagined this night so many times in my head. In my version, my father would stand up and say he was proud of me. My mother would smile at me with real warmth, not obligation. My brother would finally look at me like I existed as a real person. But reality was something else entirely. "This is our daughter," my father said again, louder this time so everyone would hear. The one who decided she did not want a real career. A few people chuckled. Uncertain laughter. My chest tightened. I could feel it squeezing. "She left a stable path," he continued, shaking his head with disappointment. "Chased dreams. Failed at most of them." More laughter. Louder now. More confident. I felt every single eye on me. The air felt heavier. Harder to breathe. "I guess every family has one," he added casually, like this was something he said all the time. "Ours just happens to be sitting right here." The room laughed again. I did not. I could not. Because something inside me was breaking. Very slowly. Very quietly. Like ice cracking under pressure. It was not just my father. That is what hurt the most. My mother did not stop him. She did not even look uncomfortable. She smiled politely, like this was normal. Like this was acceptable behavior. My brother? He smirked. Actually smirked. Like he was enjoying this. Then there was Aunt Rebecca, shaking her head like she had always known I would turn out this way. And Uncle David, whispering something to the person beside him, making them laugh. Even the guests I had invited personally. People I thought respected me. They joined in. Because when a family labels someone as a failure, as a disappointment, everyone else follows. It is like giving permission. Like making it official. And suddenly, you are not a person anymore. You are a story. A warning. A quiet example of what not to become. I sat there, hands still folded, nails pressing into my skin under the table. Not reacting. Not speaking. Because I had learned something a long time ago. The louder they try to define you, the more powerful your silence becomes. I excused myself from the table. Calmly. Quietly. No apologies. No explanation. No one stopped me. Of course they did not. I walked past the tables with white cloths. Past the soft music from the piano. Past the waiters carrying plates I had paid for. And I stepped into the hallway alone. My phone buzzed. A notification. Then another. And another. I frowned slightly and opened it. A message from someone I barely spoke to anymore. Is this about you? There was a link attached. I clicked it. It led to a group chat. Family. Extended family. Dozens of people. Aunts. Uncles. Cousins. I scrolled through the messages slowly. And with every single message I read, something inside me went colder. Tonight should be interesting. Let us see how she reacts. Do not worry, your dad will handle it. He is going to finally say it in front of everyone. Laughter emojis. Mocking comments. Predictions. They had planned it. Every word. Every laugh. Every moment. This was not just humiliation. It was a performance. And I was the main act. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then slowly, I locked my phone. And for the first time that night, I smiled. I looked at my reflection in the hallway mirror. My face was calm. Too calm. You never force your way into a room that intentionally locked you out, I whispered softly to myself. My reflection did not change. You quietly make sure you own the entire building. I adjusted my dress carefully. Smoothed my hair. Took a slow, deep breath. They thought they were exposing me. They thought tonight would define me. They thought they could erase my choices with their words. But they did not know the truth. They did not know what I had been building. Quietly. Carefully. For years. And they definitely did not know who was sitting at table 11. 2 years ago, I walked away from everything they valued. A safe job. A predictable life. A path they could brag about to their friends. But I did not fail. I pivoted. I changed direction. While they were busy judging me, criticizing my choices, telling me I was making a mistake, I was building something they could not understand. Something they had no framework for. A tech company. Small at first. Just me and a laptop in my apartment. Then a team. People who believed in my vision. Then investors. People who saw the potential I saw. Then growth. Real growth. Quiet growth. The kind that does not need approval from family. The kind that does not need validation from anyone. And 3 months ago, we closed a deal. A big one. The kind that changes everything. The kind that proves you right. But I had not told them. Not yet. Because I did not want their approval. I wanted their honesty. And tonight, they gave it to me. Fully. Clearly. Without hesitation. Without any filter. And now it was my turn. I walked back into the room slowly. The noise softened slightly as people noticed me returning. My father looked pleased. Like he thought I had gone to compose myself. Like he had taught me a lesson. Like he had one. I sat down again at the table. Calm. Still. Quiet. And then, a chair scraped across the floor. Loud. Sharp. Unexpected. Everyone turned. Table 11. A man stood up. Tall. Calm. Confident. Professional. He adjusted his jacket and looked directly at my table. At my father. "Excuse me," he said politely. His voice was steady. The room fell silent. I could not help but overhear, he continued. "You were speaking about your daughter. About her being a disappointment." My father smiled, slightly embarrassed now. Not apologetic. Just embarrassed. "Just a bit of family humor," he said, trying to laugh it off. The man nodded slowly. Then he said something that changed everything in that room. Interesting, he said. Because I was under the impression she is the reason my firm just invested $8 million into one of the fastest growing companies this year. Silence. Not soft this time. Heavy. Absolute. Crushing. My father blinked. He blinked again. I am sorry, what? He asked, his voice smaller now. The man stepped closer to our table. Calm. Controlled. Powerful presence. My name is Adrian Cole, he said clearly. And I do not usually interrupt dinners at restaurants. He paused for effect. Everyone in the room was listening now. Complete silence. But I also do not sit quietly while someone insults a founder I just partnered with. Someone I respect professionally and personally. Every head turned toward me. My mother's smile disappeared completely. My brother sat up straight. For the first time all night, they were looking at me. Really looking. I believe, Adrian continued, his voice calm but firm, you referred to her as a failure. No one spoke. Because no one could. Which is surprising, he added calmly. Considering she built a company that outperformed projections in less than 18 months. In less than 2 years. My father's face had gone pale. The color drained completely. That is not possible, he said. His voice was weak now. I did not correct him. I did not say anything. I just watched. Because this was not about proving myself. This was about letting the truth arrive without me forcing it. Adrian glanced at me briefly. Just enough to ask permission silently. I gave a small nod. That was all he needed. She did not just succeed, he said. She did it without help. Without connections. Without the support most people take for granted. That last sentence landed hard. I watched it land. Because everyone in that room knew exactly what it meant. They knew what he was saying without saying it directly. I did it without their approval. Without their support. Without them. I built this life despite them, not because of them. I did not stay long after that. I did not need to. The silence at the table said everything that needed to be said. The way my father could not meet my eyes. The way my mother kept adjusting her napkin nervously. The way my brother avoided looking at me. I left quietly. I did not say goodbye. I did not make a scene. And I did not answer their calls that night. Or the next day. Or the next week. Because some realizations need time to settle. Some truths need to sit with people for a while before they fully understand them. It started slowly. Texts coming in. Can we talk? Calls coming repeatedly. Please, just 5 minutes. Then emails. Long ones filled with words they had never used before. Apologies. Explanations. Excuses. My father called the most. His voicemails filled with words he had never used before. Proud. Sorry. Mistake. My mother sent messages that felt softer. More emotional. But still too late. Still coming after the truth had been revealed. My brother sent one message. Just one. I did not know it was like that. I read it once. Then did not reply. Because now they knew. They knew who I was. They knew what I had done. They knew it without my needing to tell them. I agreed to meet them. One time only. Same restaurant. Same table. But this time I did not arrive early. They did. They were already seated when I walked in. Waiting. Nervous. Uncertain. Vulnerable. I sat down. Calm. In control. No one spoke at first. The silence stretched. Then my father cleared his throat. We were wrong. Simple. Direct. Late. I nodded slightly. Yes, I said. No anger. No emotion. Just truth. We want to fix this, my mother added quickly. I looked at her. For a long moment. Then I said something they did not expect. You cannot fix something you never valued. Silence. Again. But this time it belonged to me. I did not need your approval, I continued calmly. I needed your respect. My father looked down at the table. He could not maintain eye contact. My mother's eyes filled with tears. Real tears. My brother stayed completely quiet, saying nothing at all. I built my life without you, I said calmly. Not because I wanted to be separate from you, but because I had to in order to survive and thrive. No one interrupted. Because there was nothing left to interrupt. And now, I added softly, you do not get to step in and claim credit just because my journey turned out well. That was the part that hurt them the most. Not anger. Not rejection. But distance. Final distance. Unshakable. Complete. I stood up slowly and deliberately. Picked up my bag with care. And paused. Just like before. Taking a moment. The greatest revenge, I said quietly and deliberately, is not proving people wrong in anger. I looked at each of them. One by one. My father. My mother. My brother. It is letting them live with the moment they realized they were. And then I walked away. Not as their failure. But as something they could never claim again. I did not need to raise my voice or yell or scream. I did not need to argue or fight or prove anything to anyone. Because real power is quiet. It does not announce itself loudly. It waits patiently. It builds slowly. It grows steadily. And when the moment comes, when the right moment finally arrives, it does not ask for attention or approval from anyone. It simply arrives. It simply is. And it changes everything. Forever. That is the truth they learned.